However, when you have a direct object, you're not quite finished. If you remember back to your object pronouns, your direct object pronouns can be me, te, le, la, nu, vous, and les, and the direct objects receive the action of the verb. When you have in the passé composé a preceding direct object, a direct object that comes before the verb, you need to have agreement. The past participle must agree with whatever the object is. That means if it's feminine, you add an E. If the object is plural and feminine, an ES. Plural and masculine, you add an S. And as always, if it is singular and masculine, you leave that past participle alone. So, for example, je regardais les films. Les films is the direct object because they are what is being watched, and we are going to replace les films with les. You know at this point that les is going to come right before the auxiliary verb. So when we stick that in there, it's je les ai regardés. In the first sentence, les films comes after the verb, that's the direct object, but in the second sentence, there's a direct object that comes before the verb. Now that we have a preceding direct object in the passé composé, we need to make sure that there's agreement between the object and the past participle. Les is plural and masculine, and so to match it, we need to add an S to regarder. Our next example, nous avons vu la fille. La fille is singular and feminine, and when we replace it, we're going to use la. However, it's next to a vowel, so it becomes l'apostrophe. Nous l'avons vue. We saw her. The l'apostrophe refers to la fille, so to match it, we need to add an E. Our final example is le professeur a trouvé les calculatrices. To replace les calculatrices in the sentence, it becomes il les a trouvées. Les is referring back to les calculatrices, which is feminine and plural. So we need to match les to trouver by adding an ES. Alors, c'est à vous. Go ahead and complete these questions. You're going to just replace the objects, the direct or indirect objects, with their correct pronouns, and then you're going to have to see whether there's any agreement that is needed. Be careful when you get to number 4. It is kind of tricky. Go ahead and pause it, and I'll show you the answers in just a second. Okay, voilà les réponses. If you notice for the last one, it is an indirect object